This is video number 6. Video number 6 covers the update and draw systems. So before going into those systems, I do briefly want to mention our scene update does call our update manager, but as I mentioned before, that's not all it does. The very top of the update, we execute all our commands from our broker, and then we process our elements of our alarmable, our updatable, collidable, and keyboard event managers. I was told before that this order does matter, but for the time being, this is the order that I have arranged them in. Our draw function basically just renders everything to our screen given the drawable manager. And our game object manager will call basically the entry and exit of our objects. That way this occurs before we start all over again and we try to call one of these functions on something that has already exited the scene. Since this is also the very bottom of our call, our switch, we do prepare to switch to a different scene. We terminate our current scene. We execute once again to ensure that everything has been removed from the managers, and then we do swap our scene. Going into both our drawable and updatable, I'll just go into the updatable since both of them work almost identically. We have our big four, and both of these things will derive from our game objects class, and we do have our scene deregistration and registration, as well as our submit for updatable registration and our submit for deregistration, both of them being here. We do have our call for update, so when the user whatever the user wants to update will go into this. This is virtual and will be overloaded by the user. In order to help with constant time, we do have an iterator of our updatable managers list, and that iterator will be used for a constant removal. We also have our current registration state and our registration and deregistration commands, so those aren't created constantly over and over. Our deregistration mainly only has our execute call and our updatable. Our updatable pointer that goes through. Our deregistration works identically. It does have an execute, so when it's its time, it will go through its proper channels and in this case register the update to our manager. Our update manager does process elements, and it does have an STL list. Again, I used an STL list so that way I can just store its iterator using insert and then erase to constantly remove given that iterator. We have our big four, we have our registration and deregistration, and our process elements basically just calls update, the one that is overloaded. These commands, as I mentioned before, it gives the updatable a delete reference, so when it's time to delete, it can just call that iterator and erase it from the list for constant time. Drawable works very identical to this process, so that way both of these have a constant removal time.